Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. I'm sitting in a park in Nanning City, drinking a tall boy. I was watching the news last night, about the Freedom Convoy, and there was a black guy that was heading for the Freedom Convoy looking for racists. And he goes through this whole thing over a couple of days and he sees no racists. No, not one. But everywhere they looked, there was all these signs saying, "This is Canada, not Communist China. This is Canada, not Communist China." Think about that for a second. As the mainstream media and the politicians in the West vilify China and the Chinese people, and everybody watches it on the news in places like Canada, yes, in Canada, and the truckers, the Freedom Convoy people, whether they be black or Indian, North American Indian, or East Indian, or whatever, or white, doesn't matter. Burping beer, eh? They all have these signs saying, "This isn't Communist China." They believe the mainstream media rhetoric about Communist China. As that mainstream media rhetoric gets turned against them, they've seen it firsthand. Racists, white supremacists, misogynistic people, fringe minority, unacceptable views, terrorists, extremists, all of these things that they've been called over the last couple of weeks from mainstream media and the politicians in the West. And none of these things fit what they believe they are. But yet, they're willing to take the mainstream media's word that China is like they say it is. You know what I mean? Like, are you catching what I'm saying here, guys and girls? The Freedom Convoy has signs that make it sound like Communist China is a genocidal, democracy-killing, bad authoritarian, no freedom type governmental regime. As I walk around this park in southern China, Nanning City, a city of 8 million people, sucking on a tall boy, talking to you on my camera, that is the authoritarian regime I'm standing in right now. I see no genocide. As a black guy saw no racism. I see no authoritarianism, even if that's a word. As people are threatened by Ford and Trudeau, "We will take your vehicle. We will impound it. You may not get it back. You may lose your driver's license, personal or commercial. We will fine you up to $100,000. We will put your ass in jail. We will arrest you." And Canada and the Freedom Convoy people have signs that say, "This is Canada, not Communist China." Do you think for 1 second that Communist China is actually like that? Or have you been lied to by the same mainstream media that is lying about you at this particular time? Yes, this video is directed at the people in the Freedom Convoy. All across Canada, in New Zealand, in the United States, in Helsinki, in France. It's all of the Freedom Convoys around the world. And each and every one of them has at least 1 or 2 signs that says this is not Communist China, because they're believing the mainstream media rhetoric that's victimizing them at this time. How ironic. I look at this as a rare opportunity to get through to some people. If the mainstream media in the West and the politicians in the West can vilify an entire country of 1.4 billion people, not only vilify the people of China and the Chinese government, but all Chinese around the world. And if you look at the population of Canada, I think over 5% of that population is Chinese people. So not only are they vilifying the Chinese in China and around the world, but they're vilifying the Chinese on the ground in Canada. Damn near 2 million of them. Oh yes. And as they do that against the Chinese, they're actually doing it against the entire Asian population of Canada. That comes out at, I think, 17.1% of the entire population of Canada. This is Canada, not communist China. How do you think it would go over if those signs were saying, this is Canada, not South Africa? This is Canada, not Pakistan. This is Canada, not India. This is Canada, not Mexico. You know what I mean? Are these racist signs? Definitely. They're zeroing in on the Chinese people. Because the Freedom Convoy is new to being victimized by mainstream media, I'm going to give them a pass on this one. But after they watch this video, maybe it'll make them think that if they can do it to us, they can do it to anybody. If they can do it to a Canadian citizen or a group of Canadian citizens, their own politicians and their own media can victimize, call names. Well, victimize is, I think, the biggest thing here. Name calling and whatever. That just shows you the mentality of the government, Trudeau government. The mentality of the mainstream media that's paid off by the Trudeau government. But if they can do it to you guys, what makes you so sure that they're not doing it to places like Libya, Syria? They're not doing it to places like China, communist China, which really isn't communist China anymore. It's sort of like a socialist, capitalistic type thing. But because most of you people in this Freedom Convoy have never been to China, you have no idea what China's actually like. You're just parroting what the mainstream media's told you over the years, and it's been sort of pumped into you for years and years and years that communist China is a bad place. I get that. I understand that. I've seen this go on for years and years, and I've made many videos about it over the years. But now, we have the opportunity, you have the opportunity to be part of this, to be victimized by these same people using the same tactics as they use against China. So that's going to leave a little bit of doubt in your mind whether they're telling you the truth about China just as they're telling lies about you at this point. So Freedom Convoy, do you think that the population of Canada that watches the mainstream media, the CBC, the politicians on the news, do you think that CTV, all of these people are telling them that you're racist, that you're extremist, you're occupiers of your own country? Do you think that they've put you in a bad light? Do you think those people believe that you're racist? Do you think those people believe all of these things that have been said about you? A lot of them do. Why? Because it's told to them over the mainstream media over and over and over. They've got 2 weeks of it already in their belly. What would happen if it was going on for, let's say, 5 or 10 years, like it has against mainland China? How many people would believe it? Would you believe it? Obviously you are believing it because you're putting signs on the front of your trucks. You're carrying signs. This is Canada, not communist China. So you're drinking the same tea from mainstream media and the politicians in Canada and around the world as people watching news about you. They're drinking that same tea too. How does it feel to be victimized like China's being victimized? How does it feel to victimize China because you saw it on mainstream media in your country, and now that mainstream media is targeting you and other people are victimizing you and believing that you are what they say you are because it's on mainstream media, because it's on CBC, because Trudeau said so, because Ford said so. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And think of the irony. Think of the irony that you're listening to this mainstream media and vilifying China, just like they're vilifying you in the eyes of your countrymen and women. Yeah. So I thought this was quite a neat subject and an opportunity for you to be sitting or walking in the shoes of the Chinese people around the world, because now it's happening to you. It's not just happening to the Chinese people anymore, it's happening to you. If it can happen to the Chinese people and it can happen to you, it can happen to anybody around the world. Think about that. Mainstream media, truth or bullshit? You know it's bullshit. Most of it's bullshit. They want their agenda, and if you disagree with them, they will use all of their power, all of their media outlets, all of their politicians, all of their police, arrest those people, fine them $100,000, they even went as far as to warn the people that had children on the ground in Ottawa that they were going to get a hold of child services, threatening to have their children taken away. And you're talking communist China? You're thinking the communist China is authoritarian? Oh, man, I'm telling you, you got to get your heads screwed on straight on this one, because they're doing the same thing to you as they've been doing to other people around the world. But now they're doing it to their own citizens, you Canadian citizens. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60 on the ground here in Nanning, Guangxi Autonomous Region, mainland China. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell. And yes, this is a park in China, and it's for the kids, it's for the old people, it's for everybody. It's not for the homeless, it's not for the drug addicts, it is for the people of the city, of this country. And yes, the media here doesn't attack their own citizens. They don't threaten them about taking their children away. They don't threaten them with fines. They don't threaten them with taking their licenses away, their livelihoods away. And if you don't get vaccinated here, they don't take your job away. Wow, what a concept. And this is what you don't want to be like? I think you got to quit listening to your mainstream media. And this doesn't just happen to strangers. On my Facebook, I have people that I have known since I was a child. Brenda Clayton, Weldon, Saskatchewan. This is Canada, not communist China. Jeff Mitchell, Candle Lake. Yes, you, Jeff. Calls me Commie Kirk. Even Dale on Vancouver Island uses the word communist as China isn't a proper place, or has the wrong type of government, or something's wrong with that word communism. You know, I don't get into it with them in Facebook, because you just can't. Well, you could argue with everybody all the time. It doesn't help. But maybe a video like this will make them think just a little bit and say, well, Jesus frickin' Christ, man, if they can do it to me at a rally or a peaceful protest in Canada, if they can vilify my ass, maybe what they're saying about other people or other countries isn't true. What a concept, eh? Wow.